But all that meat comes at a cost. The U.S. processed 32.2 million cattle and calves in 2017, according to the North American Meat Institute. To make a single pound of beef takes on average 308 gallons of water.
People love meat, I love meat, but there's also a recognition of the challenges of meat that's been harvested from animals, particularly in factory farming.
Enter Beyond Meat. They produce burgers that look, cook, and taste just like meat. But they're not what we think of as meat. They're made entirely out of plants. And since 2016, they've made their way into thousands of supermarkets, drive-thrus, restaurants, hotels, and sports stadiums.
You give a thumbs up? You like it?
Oh, and the company's gotten major investments from Bill Gates, Leonardo DiCaprio, former McDonald's CEO Don Thompson, and Tyson Foods. So why did this new age burger take on the battle with beef? And will it win? At Beyond Meat's R&D lab, food scientists, chemists, and engineers are perfecting the art of the animal-free burger.
We like to think of meat, and not in terms of its origin, say from a chicken or a cow, but in terms of its molecular composition. So the proteins, the carbohydrates, the lipids, minerals, and vitamins, all of which are available, except for cholesterol, in the plant kingdom.
All of the facility's R&D lab technicians are trained meat sommeliers.
My job here is to figure out what makes meat taste and behave like meat at the molecular level, and then go out into the plant kingdom and identify materials that behave the same way.
Beyond Meat's burger patties end up with roughly the same amount of protein as raw beef, but significantly more sodium, due to the preservation and flavoring processes. It's also worth noting that they still have 20 grams of fat, almost on par with beef. The main ingredients in Beyond Meat's latest burger are peas, rice, and mung bean for protein, beets for color, and potato starch and coconut oil for juiciness. But what about the blood?
Don't worry, it's beet juice.
Ready?
Yep.
Beyond Meat is the brainchild of Ethan Brown, a once carnivore turned vegan who grew up around his family's farm in Western Maryland.
I spent a lot of time there. We had dairy cow there. And so was very close to animals growing up, loved them, and was fascinated by them.
Passionate about the environment, Brown pursued a career in clean energy.
But I began to realize that livestock had a larger contribution to climate than many of the things that I was working on in terms of the emissions.
9% of U.S. greenhouse gas emissions come from agriculture. And of that, 1/3 comes from methane emitted from cow digestion. So in 2009, Brown began working on a healthier, more humane burger.
The question, why are you trying to build a piece of meat from plants? Why not just encourage people to eat plants directly? A burger is something people love. And so we went after that core part of the American diet.
Veggie burgers are nothing new. They've been around since 1982.
Previous generations of veggie burgers generally were pre-formed burger patties that were already cooked, that you essentially reheated, and they generally had a sort of drier, rubberier texture. And I think that was one of the sort of major steps in the evolution, was realizing that people who eat plant-based meat or people who eat veggie burgers, they're not all super health conscious all the time. Like, they like the feeling of biting into a juicy burger, they like the feeling of biting into a juicy meatball, so why can't we give that to them?
Today, Beyond Meat is booming. The company has sold more than 25 million burgers worldwide since its launch in 2016, and it filed for a $100 million IPO in November of 2018.
So it's just that same. You see that the plant-based food company has hired J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Credit Suisse to help lead the public offering.
You can find the company's products everywhere, from grocery stores like Whole Foods and Safeway to fast food chains like Carl's Jr. and A&W.
The interesting thing about our sales is that we cannot make enough product. So we are investing very rapidly and very significantly.
It's so meaty, it's almost kind of freaky.
The burger.
Can you imagine that they cannot make enough products to meet the sale? And that's where we come in. Right? So I'm not going to go on with this because these kind of things are all over, but we can actually get into that market if we're smart enough. Now there's one more important thing, and that is the psychological benefits. Today many people suffer from anxiety, OCD, depression, and so many other psychological problems. And when we are frightened or when we are angry, we produce certain hormones. When we're stressed, we produce hormones. When animals are stressed, they produce the very same hormones. And these hormones are coming back to us through the meat, eggs, milk, and fish that we consume. And actually changing to a plant-based diet helps get rid of many psychological problems. So there's so much, and finally social justice. You know, nowadays we see so many newspaper articles about rape and about murders and all kinds of things. But whatever we are doing in the human kingdom is also what we are subjecting animals to. Cows are artificially inseminated, that means raped, when they're just 2 years old, so that they can have a baby, so that they'll produce milk, so that we'll get their milk. Chickens are made to lay so many eggs. And this is a manipulation. This is an exploitation. And this exploitation will never stop in the human kingdom as long as we keep subjecting other beings to it. So the goal of our program in the next 5 days over here is to understand why plant-based nutrition is most important, to learn new techniques of plant-based alternatives, and then to stimulate and for you to create your own fabulous plant-based dishes so that you can be ahead of time. You can be ahead of other peers in the industry. To give you ideas of how you could start your own business with a USP different from any other business. To give you additional qualifications to get a job. To demolish some of the myths that we have about food and health. Vegan meals are required everywhere these days. All major airlines. You know, there's Airbnb, there's Veg Visits, which has people who can stay veg all over the world now. Then there are tours that are completely made for vegans and vegetarians. A Taste of Health is a vegan cruise. Happy Cow is a website which has vegan restaurants all over the world. And now there are celebrity restaurants that are vegan as well. And these are some of the celebrity chefs that have opened pure vegan restaurants. And there are channels for vegan food. Now, one of the questions is, how are we going to do it? And that's what we're going to do in the practicals, but I just want to give you a few guidelines here. We are going to replace all animal products: milk, curds, yogurt, cheese, paneer, butter, cream, eggs, meat, chicken, fish, even honey, with alternatives that actually make sense. So we'll replace milk with rice milk or almond milk or coconut milk or soy milk. And actually in the market you can get all kinds of milks now. You can get oat milk and even pea milk, milk made from peas. And we're going to replace yogurt with plant-based yogurt, and even that can be bought in the market, and actually Darshan has brought some here. And we are going to replace paneer by marinating tofu in cashew cream to make it actually taste like paneer. So it won't taste like tofu anymore, it will taste like paneer. And we are going to replace cheese with plant-based cheeses. And these are available already in the market abroad all over. Nowadays in India also cheeses are available. that are completely plant-based. We're going to replace meats with plant-based alternatives. And we are going to replace all kinds of things. And actually, these two ready-made versions are available, and we are going to make fresh versions of all these things. We're going to replace eggs with all kinds of alternatives so that we can make cakes or scrambled egg or whatever, and possibly the only thing we will not be able to make is a fried egg that looks like a fried egg. But there are people who are making that as well. You know, there are brands all over the world, and some of the high investments are in plant-based foods. And these are all the companies that are making plant-based alternatives to sell in the new market that's emerging very, very quickly. And there are lots of Indian brands as well, and these are just some of them. So now we are going to have two parts. One is whole and plant-based cooking, and one is just plant-based cooking, so that our clients, no matter who they are, can get what they need. For whole and plant-based cooking, we are going to replace even sugars, even brown sugar, even jaggery. We are going to replace it with dates and raisins. And we can even make all kinds of desserts with these things. We are going to avoid honey and molasses and even stevia, and definitely xylitol and agave and maple syrup and jaggery, and we are still going to make fabulous desserts. Why are we avoiding these? Because they're not health foods, they don't improve our health, they just make us more addicted to sugar. And the sweeteners that you get in the market actually cause cancer. We are going to replace white rice with red rice, brown rice, or even black rice. And that's not semi-polished rice or hand-polished rice, it's actually whole rice. It's not parboiled rice either. Real whole brown rice, black rice, or red rice. We are going to replace rava, which is actually polished wheat, with wheat dalia, corn dalia, foxtail millet, and make similar things like upmas. We are going to replace poha with red rice poha. We are going to replace white oats or quick cooking oats with rolled oats or steel cut oats to make them whole. So we are going to replace all these refined products with other things. We are going to replace salt with rock salt and sea salt rather than the processed iodized salt. We are going to even have replace tea and coffee with herbal infusions or plant-based suitable teas and coffee. And we are going to change and learn new cooking techniques. For example, we even make pakoras without oil. So we are going to use steaming as an important technique. And we are going to learn how to do tadka without oil, or fry onions without oil. We are going to learn how to replace the flavor of oil in Indian cooking with roasted crushed peanuts or roasted crushed sesame or grated coconut. We can replace oil with all these things in different ways. We are going to, instead of frying, use baking as a technique. And we are going to have fabulous rainbow meals. And we're even going to learn how to make fabulous desserts which even taste better and are healthy and our clients can enjoy. This is just a recipe for vegan mayonnaise. You know, mayonnaise is made with eggs and oil, and we don't want to use any of that. So we make our mayonnaise, and it tastes exactly the same, with soaked cashews and lemon juice and salt and pepper and mustard and garlic and maybe a bit of vinegar if you like, and a bit of onion to replace that sulfur flavor of egg. And you actually can't taste the difference. But your body will taste the difference because it's much healthier. We are going to break all kinds of myths that we have about food so that you don't get left behind in the industry. Sharan has certifications for restaurants and food caterers, and we have helped even people with cancer reverse cancer. And this is one such person. We have 3 people on our team who have reversed their cancer and want to help other people. I'm not going to show you the whole testimonial, but you can see these testimonials on our YouTube channel. I do want to leave you with my email address, and I also want to let you know about Sharan's website. So Sharan's website is sharan-india.org, and we do have some cookbooks like timeless recipes for healthy living, and we have a Hindi version, Khana Badlo, Jeevan Badlo, and we have other kinds of books, and I've also written a book about reversing diabetes. So we can all work together and not get left behind to change. While the industry is changing, we can be a part of it. Okay? So that's basically all I want to share with you today. I hope that somewhere it was useful. Even if you're not going to do this, we need to know about the changes happening in the world today. Any questions? Okay, so I think that's all that I have.
Do you have any questions? It's very important because she's right here for you. If you have any questions, please ask. Nobody worried about their protein or the calcium? No? I'm surprised, no questions.
Then they have understood too well.
That's very good.